All right, we are recording. All right, so sorry that we weren't able to make the call work before the new year. I kind of wanted to talk to you guys before the new year, but it didn't work out for everybody, so that's all right. This call is going to be a little bit random. There's really no method to my madness with this, except that there's a few things that I want to cover because we are in the brand new year, which I tell you guys this every year. Some of you might not know. Devin, I know you're kind of new to it. So it's one thing that I want to start out by telling you guys that in the Beachbody world, the way it works is every single coach starts at the same exact place January 1st of the new year. So right now, I am at the same place in my business as Melanie Mitro is in her business. You guys are at the same place in your business as Lindsay Matway is in her business. Of course, there's different things that go into play when you have coaches and whatnot, but when you're aiming for elite and premier and things like that, it's not like they count your business from the last 5 years. So coaches that you signed 3 years ago don't count anymore towards those points. I tell you guys that so you can understand that it's not like Lindsay Matway has this, huge business, so she automatically is going to hit elite coach because she already has this huge business. Every year, every coach has to start from scratch, and they have to build that business again. They have to bring in those new coaches who want to make it work. They have to, actually put work into their business. There's no just sitting back and doing nothing and becoming a top 10 coach. Now, they could sit back and not do much if they wanted to, but they're probably not going to end up in a top spot as a coach. So I want you guys to understand that if there's a part of you that's like, hey, I really want to be in the freaking top 100. I really want to be in the top 10. I'm telling you guys right now, you can absolutely 1,000% do it. It's going to be hard and you're going to have to work your butt off, but you can do it. A lot of those names that I saw in the top 10, I didn't even know who they were. Like, I did not even have a clue who probably like 5 of them were. Like, I literally had to go look them up on Facebook and be like, who is this girl that's like number 3 in the company now? And they were just normal old people who freaking dove in the beginning of last year and busted their butts and brought themselves to the top. So if you want to do it, you have to start right now. Like, you can't keep on putting it off next week or when, I do more training or when I have more coaches or whatever it is. All of those things that you're telling yourself, you have to just let those go. And it's excuses that are going to hold you back. You have to let it go and move on. I don't care if you have 0 coaches right now. It doesn't matter. You could literally dive in, go hardcore, and have 10 new coaches by next week. So I don't care if you just signed up yesterday. You could still be the number 1 coach at the end of this year. You have an entire year to do whatever you want to do with your business, but you have to start now. I talk to coaches all the time who, and I'm guilty of it too. It's, oh, I'll do it next week, or no, I'm going to wait until I can sit down and reorganize everything. And then I'm going to dive in and I'm going to start. Then I'm going to run those free groups. Then I'm going to run that sneak peek. Then I'm going to invite to coaching. I'm going to wait until I know a little bit more about coaching and I'm a little bit more confident. And then I'm going to invite some people to join me. And that's fine. It's however works for your business. But if you really want to take off and go far, don't hold yourself back like that. Just dive in and do it and eliminate all those doubts. Because I'm telling you guys right now, those girls that made it into the top 10 this year, who I had no idea who they were probably filled with doubt, probably didn't know what they were doing half of the year, but figured it out as they went. So just know that we really do all start at the same place, and you guys can go wherever you want to go, but you have to dive in and you have to start right now. So you got to figure out what it is that's holding you back. You got to figure out what it is that you're procrastinating about. You know, if you've been a coach for a long time and you've just been kind of staying here where you are, you seriously have to take a look in the mirror and figure out, what do I need to change? Because it's you holding yourself back, and we all know that. So right now is a really good time to know that you are literally starting on a clean slate in your business. You're starting from scratch, okay? Right now is a good time to look in the mirror and figure out, am I where I want to be? Where did I think I would be by now? Where do I want to go? What do I need to change? And really have that heart to heart with yourself and write it down. And don't just write it down and forget about it and then go back to doing what you've been doing. Write it down and look at it every day and really try to dive in and change those things, okay? So aside from all that, I just wanted to point that out because I want you guys to understand how important it is to recognize that the beginning of the year is a very important time. And it is not a time for procrastination. It is the time to start diving in now, because there's going to be other people who are diving in if you aren't. And that's another thing. If you're waiting to invite coaches or you're waiting to invite challengers, you know, until you're ready or you're back on track or whatever it is, that's another thing I've been hearing a lot for this new year. You know, I'm getting myself back on track and then I'm going to start inviting people again. Well, guys, the train's going to leave the station. And if these people are ready and you're not inviting them or you're not welcoming them in, you can't be upset when they go when somebody else finds them and brings them in, okay? Now, I'm not saying this to give you anxiety, like, oh my gosh, I have to dive in 110% right now, or I'm going to lose all my people. You know, I do believe that there is transitioning in your business where you do have to figure out a way to get into a spot where you're ready to invite. But what I'm saying is, don't hold yourself back and then be mad at somebody else because you held yourself back, okay? So just really grasp the concept that you need to get started now and you need to run with it for the rest of the year, and you need to stop telling yourself whatever those self-limiting beliefs are, because it's crap. It's total crap, and you can do whatever you want to do in your business. Okay, so, all right, so I've been getting here and there some questions about social media platforms, because obviously there are a lot of them nowadays. Obviously we have Facebook, Instagram, Facebook like pages, Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest. There's all kinds of platforms that different coaches are using. So what I always tell my coaches is to pick either 2 or 3 and master them. So this is my advice. You can take it or leave it, but I would not go signing up for 5 different social media platforms, trying to build your business on all those platforms all at once when you haven't mastered at least 2 or 3 of them yet. Another thing is, honestly, if you're focused on building your business and that's what your goal is, and if you're on this call or you're listening to this recording, I think that's probably your goal. I would not be wasting time on social media outlets that are not going to help you grow your business. So I know social media, we want social media to be fun. I'm not telling you guys that your whole life needs to be about business. Absolutely not, because then you're going to get burnt out. But you can find fun and business all in one. For example, Instagram. Instagram stories for me is just fun. It's fun. It's easy. There's no pressure behind it. I can post whatever I want to post. But yet Instagram is still a business social media platform for me. So don't be wasting your time on Snapchat if you literally feel like it's doing absolutely nothing for your business. Unless you're not really serious about growing your business, and that's fine. I can't tell you what to do there. But like I said, if you're on this call or listening to it, I think you're serious about growing your business. So don't waste your time on that. And then master 2 or 3 of them. So for example, for me, I use Facebook like pages, and then I just recently started going back to Instagram. Okay. So when I say master them, I mean get to the point where you have a system in place with that social media platform? You know, how are you inviting people on that platform? How are you getting your brand out there on that platform? How are you bringing people in? You know, what are you doing for your business on that platform? Once you have that figured out, then it's mastered. And if you're having trouble doing that, I recommend looking up YouTube videos about how to use that social media platform for your business, for your coaching business. Guys, there's tons of videos out there. I guarantee you, if you go on YouTube or Google or whatever, you can find a video made by a Beachbody coach for whatever social media platform you're trying to use. Another good thing to do is find successful coaches who are using that platform and watch what they're doing. Like, study them. I'm not saying go look at their posts and try to be them or copy their post or whatever, but kind of get an idea of what they're doing, because that might help spark some ideas for you and kind of know what works. So, for example, when I was first getting into Instagram stories, I followed, let's see, who did I follow for stories? Chelsea Pearson was one, Ali Upham, and Lindsay Matway. So it was funny because I kind of started following Lindsay from the beginning when she first started doing it, when she didn't know much about it, and then to when she was growing and was obviously figuring out the tricks and stuff. And something that I noticed was they were using a lot of features where you can like swipe up, and it brings you to a link. Ali Upham, if you guys don't follow her on Instagram stories and you use Instagram stories, I highly recommend following her. I think of all the successful coaches I've watched their stories, hers are the best when it comes to inviting. And what she does is she kind of just shares her whole day, and she just has a really like good way of inviting people to the coaching opportunity and the challenger opportunity through her Instagram stories. And it's really cool and interesting. And I was intrigued, and I haven't mastered it yet, but I have studied that. So those are just some different things you can do. You know, if you're using Snapchat, go find a successful coach who's using Snapchat and see what they're doing, because then that's how you can learn to do all the little tricks and things that you might not know how to do. Okay, so master 2 to 3 of them. Like I said, I do Facebook, and that's one that I tell all of my coaches, you always need to keep Facebook. Facebook needs to be your number one. It needs to be the first thing that you worry about mastering, and then you need to keep it on your list. Don't ever get rid of Facebook. There might be some rare occasions where somehow that benefits people, but the thing about Facebook is obviously that's where all of our business platforms really kind of run. That's where our challenge groups are, unless you're running it through the challenge group app, which is an option. But that's where your team pages are going to be. That's where your groups are going to be. It's just the easiest place to bring people into like a group setting. So always keep Facebook. I like to use Facebook like pages to convert my cold market to my warm market, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So I will never get rid of my Facebook like page either. And then, like I said, I started going back to Instagram recently because I finally felt like I got to a point where I was ready to dive back into that. And the thing is, you got to play around with it. So what works for me might not work for you. What works for you might not work for me, and vice versa for all the coaches out there. So you got to kind of figure out, you know, what is it that, like, how do you like to share? Do you like to share by writing posts, like posting pictures and writing out a post? Do you like to share by doing like quick little videos and kind of getting, you know, your stuff out there like that? How do you like to share? And then on top of that, how does your market react to the way you share? So for example, for me, Instagram stories, now I'm not saying that it's not ever going to work for me in the future when I'm able to master it more with the different little things I was talking about before. It might work better. But with Instagram stories, I was getting a lot of people watching my stuff, but I wasn't getting a lot of people like messaging me or reacting, like actually taking action on my videos. So I found that with my market, and I don't know if it's because I've always been more of like a writer. Like when I put things into words, I do it through writing. That's kind of just always been how my brain works. So I think maybe I'm able to express myself better through writing and through a post than I am through video or through, you know, like quick videos. So I found that my market responds better to me through posts, through written out posts. So you have to play around with it, and you have to just kind of see what works and what doesn't work. And it might change too. So you got to be willing to evolve and grow and just keep trying new things. All right. So to talk about my Facebook like pages and how I convert my cold market to my warm market through that, because I told one of my coaches I would cover that on tonight's call. All right. So I have some notes. So I'm trying to kind of figure out where I want to start. All right. So recently, as the beginning of 2018 was approaching, I really had like a heart-to-heart with myself about what I want in my business. And some of you know this. I talked to some of you in depth about this. Sorry, this jacket is like hurting my arms. So I sat back and I'm like, not only what do I want, what kind of people do I want in my business, but what kind of people do I want in my life in general? I found that 2017 was like a huge transition year in my life and in my business in general, but you know, in my life in general, but in my business as well. And I found that I lost a lot of people. Well, not lost, that's not the right word. A lot of people were removed from my life outside of Beachbody, and then a lot of people were removed from my life inside of Beachbody as well. I've shared this story, but for those of you that don't know the story, there was different things that happened that led up to it until I finally just had a moment. Like I found that I was just being surrounded by all these negative, just like hateful, dishonest people in my life. And I was just like, whoa, it was a lot of people who had already been in my life for a while. Then it was some new people who had recently come in, but it was like all of a sudden all this negativity and just like not good stuff was surrounding me. And so I had a moment where I literally became like exhausted with it. And I decided that I wasn't doing the people pleasing anymore that I had been doing like my whole life. So that kind of went hand in hand with it. And I had a moment where I literally prayed to God to please remove the people from my life that are negative, dishonest, whatever, the people that don't belong, and bring me the right people. So please remove the wrong people from my life and bring me the right people. And it is crazy how quickly that prayer was answered. But it's really funny because he removed a lot of people, but he also brought me some really amazing people who were exactly what I was looking for. It's actually kind of funny. My coach, Amber Richards, she's not on the call, but I've told her this story. I said that prayer, and I think literally like a week later, Amber reached out to me out of nowhere. Her and I had never talked about coaching, and she wanted to find out about coaching and ended up signing as a coach. And she was like the epitome of the coach that I wanted to bring into my business. So first of all, have confidence in yourself and who you want to attract, and don't be afraid to be picky about that, because that's one thing that I did not do in the beginning of my business. And I brought on people who I should not have brought on into my life in general. I brought on people who were negative. I brought on people who were entering this business for the wrong reason. I, condoned that behavior without even realizing it. I didn't put my foot down when I should have. So I can kind of share those lessons with you guys. Don't do that in your business, and don't have the scarcity mentality where you feel like you have to work with every single person who ever shows interest. If you find that it's somebody that as soon as you open up a message to talk to them, you like just feel like this huge sense of dread, maybe you don't want to work with that person. Okay. So just recognize that you really can attract whoever you want to attract. So anyways, coming to the end of 2017 into 2018, I really had a heart-to-heart with myself, and I was like, you know, who do I want to attract into my life in general, and what coaches do I want? You know, what do I want out of a coach? And I decided that what I really wanted was I wanted honest people, I wanted patient people, I wanted positive people, and I wanted faith-based giving people. Those were like the main things that I wanted to find in people. And I did not go into it with the mentality like, I only want to bring people in if they're coming into my business. Obviously, you know, I wanted to bring more people like that into my business, but I really just got to a point where I'm like, I just want to bring these kind of people into my life. Like, I just want more of those people in my life. So recently you guys probably saw that I started a group. It's called Good with God. And it basically, like, every day I share like a Bible reading and just different devotionals and things like that. And I totally just lost my train of thought. I don't know. Anyway, so I started this group, and I was sitting in church last Sunday, and it hit me because I told you it was like, okay, what do I want? And I'm thinking about that. What kind of coaches do I want? What kind of people do I want? And then I'm sitting in church, and the idea just hit me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a group where I want to be surrounded by that. Oh, and I remember what I was going to say. And the reason I decided to start a group like that is because I wanted a safe place where I could go in and be myself and talk about the things that I'm going through. And, you know, talk about my faith and how I've been struggling with my faith and different things like that. Stuff that maybe not everybody will understand, and I might look a little cuckoo if I'm just randomly posting about all this crazy stuff on my social media platforms. So I wanted more of like a place with people who were more like me, who would understand. So I decided to create this free group. And this is what I do with my free groups that hopefully will help you guys too. So what I did is I posted it on my personal page, and I had a lot of my warm market join. And you guys probably saw the post, but if you didn't, I kind of explained what the group was about. And what this did is it automatically narrowed down people that I didn't want in the group. You know, for example, I'm probably not going to have somebody enter the group who walks around spreading hate to people. You know, like the way I narrowed it down, it was purposely done to where I would attract those type of people, the people I wanted, not the people I don't want. So I put it on my warm market. I had some of those people enter. And then I also put it on my like page, and I sponsored it. So this is what I do when I run free groups that are really zoned in to me wanting to bring in more people like me to my warm market. So I put up a post on my personal page, and then I put a post on my like page and inviting to the free group. And then I sponsor the post on my like page. And what I do is I go in and I choose the market that I'm aiming for. If you guys have never sponsored a post on your like page, you'll see what I'm talking about when you go in to do it. But you choose your marketing. You choose the age. You choose what their interests are. So for example, for me, I chose, I think, between 25 to like 35 years old. I think I did. I don't remember. Because one thing is, for my market, the people I bring in, I want them to be around my age. I might have gone up to 40. I don't remember. But long story short, I don't really want a 21-year-old who is still into partying and going out and drinking. That's not what I'm looking for me personally. Now, that might be the perfect fit for somebody else. I also don't want a 55-year-old who I might feel like I don't really have the wisdom to share with them what they need to hear. And that's another thing. Like I said before, it's okay for you guys to be picky about who you want. And with your like page, you can really do that. You can really decide like exactly who you want. Now, you're probably going to get a few people here and there where you're like, how the heck where did that come from? You were not a person I was looking for. But that's okay. You can just kind of skip over those people. So anyways, I sponsor the ad and then it serves it out to those people. And then I end up getting people who show interest in it. So sponsored the ad and said, hey, if you want to be added, let me know. And that's what I did. And I only spent $10 and I sponsored the ad for 2 days. I ended up getting hundreds of likes. I got like 10 shares. And I so far have brought in like 10 new people to my warm market who I actually like friend requested, became friends with on Facebook, and they're actually interacting with me on my personal page now, which is another way of knowing if the people that you bring in are like you. Because if they're not like you, they're going to come into your personal page and they're going to be like, nope, I'm good. And they're going to delete you or they're not going to interact with your stuff. But if they come into your personal page and they start liking everything and interacting with you, then you know that they're relating to you and, you know, you guys have that common, whatever it is you have in common. So that is probably the easiest way I found to bring my cold market into my warm market. And there's trainings for like pages out there. You can go through those. Where they will be able to tell you way more than I'm telling you right now. But this is what I've just found has worked for me so far. So a few different groups that I've done over the last couple of years that have worked really well with this is I did a Build a Booty group where, so this was back when I was like really passionate. I was just starting to get really passionate about like really like building muscle and building a butt. And it was like something, I'm still passionate about it, but it was something that I was like zoomed in on and aimed in that time. And so I went through the same process and I sponsored the ad and I found girls that were looking for exactly that. And I ended up actually signing a couple coaches from that group back in the day. Another one I did was a self-love challenge. And that was when I first started going through the transition in my life where I decided that people pleasing was a really huge problem of mine. And it was something that I was working on and getting better at. And so I brought in people who were struggling with the same things. They were struggling with finding confidence or they were struggling with people pleasing or whatever. So I brought in people like that, and that group was really successful. And now I have the Good with God group. So find something that you're passionate about right now. Maybe it is a struggle that you're having, or maybe it's something that you're trying to achieve, like I was trying to achieve with the Build a Booty group. Maybe it's a struggle that you recently went through that you figured out, you know, like me with the people pleasing. Another one that I plan to do hopefully soon in the future is something related to all the issues with thyroid problems and all that kind of stuff going on, because hopefully that's something that I'll have more of a grasp on here soon. So just really think about what am I looking for and what do I have to offer right now? Because you all have something. You all have a struggle or something that you figured out. You have wisdom to share. You have experience with something. You know, even if you have full-time jobs, it could be something that you know through your work that you can help share with other people. Right now, at the beginning of the new year, a lot of people are trying to declutter. Maybe you're really good at like organization and decluttering techniques, or maybe you're really good at budgeting. That's something that a lot of people struggle with. Or saving money. You know, maybe you've gone through the Dave Ramsey program and you know how to do it. And that's something that you could run a free group. I mean, that program costs money. It costs a lot of money. So if you've gone through that program and you know how it works, you could run a free group and offer that value to people for free and bring in those kind of people to your warm market. So just think about who you want to bring in and what you have to offer. And that's a really good way to bring people in to your warm market. All right. So last couple of things I want to talk about real quick is I just want to talk about a couple reminders. So first of all, if you guys have not gotten either your accessories pack or one of the other bundles for the 80-day obsession, and you want to be in Autumn's exclusive coach test group, you need to do that by January 10th. I also just found out today, and I don't know if I'm really supposed to tell you guys this, and I kind of wish I would have known it, but I found out that you actually can order one of the packages under like your spouse's account, and you can still enter your information. So I think how the girl said she did it, and a bunch of other people have done it too. I think you enter the order number, but then you enter your Facebook page and your Facebook link, and you can actually join the group. And I don't think it's supposed to happen that way, but lots of people are doing it. So I know, Leslie, I'm like, well, wish I would have known. I would have ordered it under Tyler. But whatever, it's not the end of the world. But so if you guys do have your coaches ask you about that, from what I was told today by people who have done it, you can do it that way. I'm not saying that Beachbody guarantees that, but that's what these people have told me. So anyways, just make sure that you get your stuff ordered by the 10th to get entered into the group. Make sure if you have coaches that are doing it, that they get their stuff ordered by the 10th. And then the group officially starts on, or no, it's already started. The group's already started, but the 80-day obsession officially starts on the 15th. I kept hearing the 14th, and then I read the 15th. And I know that some coaches have been confused about that because I've seen some other people posting about the 14th. So I don't know. From what I read last, it's the 15th. 80-day obsession officially releases and starts on the 15th. Leslie, is that the date that you are thinking? Okay. Yeah, because I've seen the 14th. I don't know.
Yeah, but she's going to get in there on the 10th.
What'd you say?
Wait. It starts on the 15th, but she's going to be in there on the 10th starting to talk about the time nutrition.
Yes. But 80-day obsession, like for your challengers and stuff, they'll have access to that on the 15th.
15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere somebody posted something about the 14th, and then I've seen other coaches talking about the 14th. I don't know where that got misconstrued, but just so you guys know, it is the 15th that it officially releases. Oh, and then the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is vision boards. So that would be like a whole entire call if I was going to actually cover vision boards. So I'm not going to physically cover vision boards, but I want to tell you guys that I'll admit that that's one of those things that seems kind of silly. Like, okay, like, ooh, let me make a vision board. It's so fun. Like I'm in elementary school. I don't know if you guys ever did that. I'm pretty sure they had us making vision boards in elementary school, and we didn't even know it, because I remember taking magazines and like cutting stuff out and putting it on poster boards. But anyways, even if it seems like silly, guys, I'm telling you, it works. I was stubborn and did not do a vision board for like the first 2 years of my business, I think. I don't know. It might have been one. Anyways, 1 or 2. It was either like the second year or the third year that I actually sat down and made a vision board. And holy crap, the end of that year, it must have been, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, the end of that year, I looked back, and when I like looked at everything that was marked off my vision board, I was like, whoa, like that was like an incredible year. Like probably the best year Tyler and I had ever had, like, and achieved all these different things, like taking my whole family on a vacation. You know, we were able to buy a boat. We bought our house, yada, 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 the whole 9 yards. We pretty much achieved everything we put on our vision board. Rank advancements, things like that. So if you think it's silly and you're questioning if it works, just do it. I know it takes a little bit of time. A couple of ways that I do it, I'll just tell you guys real quick. Obviously, I print out pictures. I get very specific. That's important. You want to be specific about it, and, you know, your deadline. So I have like 2 vision boards that sometimes I do ones that are like, I want to achieve this within like a couple months to 6 months. And then I have like my vision board of like the bigger, more dreamy things that I want to achieve over the whole year. Another thing I do is, like, for me, paying off debt has always been a big one. So I use the envelope system, and I actually attach the envelopes to my vision board. So what I do is I take the credit card or whatever it is, the medical bill, whatever it is that I need to pay off, I put it in the envelope. I write the amount on the envelope and it goes on my vision board. Then that way I know, like, this is the debt I have. And as you mark it off, it feels awesome. Like, it's such an amazing feeling. So I actually would share mine with you guys right now, but I need to update it. It's still from the end of last year. So I was thinking, if you guys want, when you get your vision boards done, let's all post them in the team page and share them with each other. I think that'll be fun. That's really inspirational. But what I was going to tell you guys about the vision boards is, if you want like a step-by-step thing, Lindsay Matway is running a big vision board group. She does it every year. She's posted about it, I know, on her personal page, and I think in some of the other group pages. But if you go searching a little bit, you can find it. Request to join the group, and she'll do like a whole walkthrough tutorial on how she does it. And she's like the queen of vision boards. Like, she is the one, like, she has marked everything off of her vision board. So she's really good at doing them. And then they're also going to talk about it at the Super Saturday in Clearwater. I think there's going to be like a whole like discussion of vision boards, or at least a briefing on it. I don't know if the other Super Saturdays are, if you guys are not local, but they're going to talk about that. So you probably want to bring something to take notes to the Super Saturday for sure. For vision boards, you want to bring note and take notes anyways. So yeah, get those done. Try to get them done as soon as possible, because guys, the month is going to be over before we freaking know it. Time is just flying. So get them done, post them in the page. I'll share mine with you guys too. And then I also just wanted to cover a couple ideas that I've been kind of throwing around, thinking about. I always like to do stuff that I feel like is going to benefit you guys, and stuff that you guys are going to want to do. So I like to put the ideas out there so you guys can tell me yes or no, or yeah, let's do it right now, or I have a better idea, or whatever. You guys know that I am totally open to discussion and ideas and whatever. So one thing that I was thinking about is maybe running like a Success Club squad group. Sorry, my mom's texting me. And we could either do it on or through Facebook Messenger, depending on how many of us are in there. I know that with the Messenger, if there's like 500 people in there, it gets crazy and goes crazy, and then I get totally lost. Or we could do it through like a Facebook group. But I think most of you have heard of like Success Club pods, where you're teamed up with a few people, and when you post a post, you tell them, hey, go show me some love. So what I'm thinking for this group is it would be kind of like an overall group where we kind of check in with each other. We tell each other, what's working, or ask for advice on what we're struggling with. And then also on top of that, it would be like a Success Club pod as well. So if you have a post that you put up that is vulnerable or scary, or something that you're inviting to, you can come in right away and say, hey, go like this for me. Because when you get interaction right away, it feeds it to more people's news feeds. And then what I'm thinking with this group is it would obviously need to be people that are active and serious about running their business and about doing things. Because I think it would definitely be beneficial if we had a few of us in there who really are pushing, trying to hit Success Club, inviting to the coaching opportunity, and doing all that kind of stuff to kind of push each other and, comment on each other's stuff and all that good stuff. So you guys let me know what you think about that. And then the last idea I had is I want to do another big invite to the coaching opportunity. I've tried pretty much every outlet. We can do a sneak peek. I found for me personally, those don't work super well, but I'm open to doing them again. I'm also open to doing a big Zoom call invite. I know there's other platforms that you can use, but I haven't mastered like the whatever the other one's called. I can't even think of it right now. but we could do like a big invite to coaching call. I've done those in the past where, you know, we talk on Zoom with our potentials. I would love to have a few of you get on the call and share as well. I think it definitely helps to kind of hear from different coaches who honestly are at different spots in their journey. You know, so from new coaches to veteran coaches, you know, whatever. I think it would be cool to have a few of us on there sharing different stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, that's something that we can plan and talk about. But like I talked about, though, no procrastinating. So if we're going to do that, we need to get on it and plan it soon. So you guys let me know what you think about that. And then the last thing, I'm not going to talk about it tonight because we don't have time, but I'm going to try to do another call next week on Wednesday as well. If we can keep getting people on the calls, I will keep doing them every week, and I'll also start having some other people host. But next week, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit. One of the things I'm going to talk to you about a little bit is about taxes. I know Leslie asked me to kind of cover that a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of break down for you, like, you know, what the write-offs are, what you should be keeping, you know, receipts-wise, what you should be saving, all that kind of stuff. So I know there was actually, a long time ago, there was actually a whole like event around taxes, but I don't think it was recorded. But anyways, from me doing my taxes, I've kind of learned a little bit about it now. So I'll share with you guys what I know, and I'll see if I can find any other information too. And then if you guys have anything else you want me to cover or whatnot, you just let me know. So, all right, I'm done talking. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to say?
I'll just say, like, about the vision boards. I was kind of weird about it last year when I was making mine for the first time. And, like, something big that I wanted to do, but it was, like, absolutely impossible, was go to Summit. And I put it on my vision board, and I ended up going to freaking Summit. So it's just like, okay, like when you write it down and you really think about it, like, it can happen. So I think that vision boards are really important.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Because, guys, let me tell you, Leslie going to Summit last year, it was like what? Like the week before, and we were like, there's no way it's going to happen. It can't. There was too many things that just weren't lining up. And then at the last minute, it was like everything fell into place and it happened.
Yeah.
So don't doubt what you can do and put it on your freaking vision board, like she said. But also, don't put it on your vision board and never look at your vision board, because that's not going to help you. So I have a vision board hanging in my office, but I'll tell you, I'm not in my office all day, every day. You know, I do a lot of work from my phone in the downstairs of my house. So I like to take a picture of mine and put it somewhere where I will see it every day. You can make it your screensaver or whatever you want to do. But I love having it in my office, though, because I like when I walk into my office to do my business, my vision board gets me excited. Like it, you know, that's like the first thing I see, and it makes me excited to do the business and do all that. So post it around wherever you want to post it, wherever you feel like it helps you the most and gets you the most excited. But make sure it's somewhere where you see it all the time. So, all right, ladies. Well, look at that. We didn't even go over an hour. All right, well, get your vision boards posted in the group, and then you guys let me know what you think about the Success Club squad and about the invite to coaching, and if you guys want to participate, and we'll get that planned out too. So just post in the team page. All right. I will talk to you guys later on. Have a good night.
All right, night.
Bye.